Welcome to this week's episode of the Real Country File. Ollie's asked me to fill in for him today because he's actually over in Italy looking at farm machinery. But obviously the main topic of conversation all week has been the fallout from the budget. We hear from two people to get their thoughts on the implications for their farm, and later on I'm talking to people at the Farm Business Innovation Show. So first of all, let's head over to Lancashire, where Ian Riley has sent in a video to express his issues and concerns about the budget.
So here we are, B-Day +6. Just want to talk inheritance really, and what it means, and how you can plan for succession, but you can't plan for a disastrous budget that really completely throws all your succession plans on their head and throws baby out with the bathwater. So Emma's family have paid this once before, when there was no relief on inheritance tax, and it very nearly finished the place. But when I actually think now, the work we've done, the investment in the restaurant, buildings, equipment, machinery, by working hard and taking risks and building the business to nearly 30 employees across the site, we're doing a fair bit for the tax man. We're putting back into this country. We are growing, but in one foul swoop, that could all change, because this inheritance tax relief it's desperately needed on farms. There's simply no other way around. There is no succession. There are no family farms. There will be big corporations owning vast swathes of land, rich corporations, but that doesn't make food secure, and that certainly doesn't protect family farming businesses. It doesn't protect workers, because if all that went, there are nearly 30 people redundant. There's a family without a livelihood, and what have we got left? The pieces to pick up. 20 years of hard graft trying to build a business up to what it is today, and continuing to do so. Makes you feel a bit sick, really. We've got to change this disastrous, criminal decision to remove inheritance tax relief from farms and dare I say it, landowners to a point, because if we're doing something with the land and the landowners making sure that land is in good production, not held by a corporation, not covered in solar panels, then we're doing the right thing with the land. We're producing food. We're making sure that we've got a viable, secure food chain, and that the environment is being looked after as well. Anyway, there's moves afoot for pressure to be applied to the government and to the Chancellor to get this reversed. Now, whilst that's all very peaceful and the right to demonstrate, etc., I do feel there is, talking to people, a massive feeling for more direct action. But let's see where we go. Things start by talking, and that's what we've got to do: dialogue and demonstration to say, this is wrong, and let's see if we can get things to change. I know everyone has so many messages from people that are absolutely behind British farming, small businesses, all affected, not only by inheritance tax, but the hike in national insurance contributions. I muted to that before. So anyway, we'll hopeful, ever the optimist, never the pessimist. Glass is always half full, and I'm not going to let a government make me change that to the glass is always half empty, ever.
Thanks for that, Ian. Now over to Stephen, who caught up with Phil Halhead at Norbreck Genetics.
This week on the Real Country File, there is only one story in town, and it's the budget and how it's affecting you, the farmers across the UK. I've come along today to see Philip Halhead, absolute legend in farming in the Northwest, to get his take on just how the budget's going to affect him and his farming businesses.
Unfortunately, really, massive beef rearing business. Beef is short in the UK at the moment. His demand is high. He wants to put more infrastructure in. He wants to carry on the good work. And he had a 15-year-old daughter there. And he was more or less crying at the coffee table this morning because his plans now have to be stalled. Doesn't know whether there's actually a future for that 15-year-old girl who's a mad keen future farmer. And it's disheartening. There's a lot that consumers can do to help, I'm guessing. What would you say to people when they're out shopping? And I think the consumers are with the farmers, and we know that the trust in British food and farming and the animal welfare is some of the highest in the world. We know that the British public, the majority of them, are right with British farmers. The confidence index has shown that over the last number of years, and particularly after COVID, of course, when during COVID, the British farmers, we saw supermarket shelves temporarily emptied or short of supply, and through a lot of hard work, we managed to get those shelves full again. That goes across the industry through the processing and all the supply chain really muscled in. So from a consumer perspective, it's really tough, this one, because it's hard to articulate why it is that we need a change of view on IHT and APR, agricultural property relief and inheritance tax. It's about we're custodians. So if I think about our family business, my grandfather, born in 1900, came to our farm in 1935. We've built through those generations a small acreage of land in Cockerham near Lancaster. We've managed to make small amount of profit most years, not every year. We have to ride the volatility of commodity prices and food prices. So it's not a given that every year is a profitable year. The margins are skinny thin. We have these extra challenges of cost inflation that the consumers are seeing as well. But now we've got the disability of not being able to pass on the mat of farmland to the next generation to say, here you are, try and have a go and make this profitable and produce lots of food for our hungry British consumer who want the high welfare standards. It's a difficult thing to understand. I think there's various pieces in the press. We've got a story to tell as farmers, and I think it's clear that there's a lack of understanding across government. It's an anti-business, anti-farming, anti-growth budget in every single area, not just farming, and it's really, really disappointing. It's so unambitious for the country. I mean, with my Norbreck Genetics business, we try and export product out of the UK. That is the hardest it's ever been. So this growth for not only the UK, but also to become an exporter and bring in money from abroad, which is so needed in this country. We can be strong and we can provide food to other countries as well and be self-sufficient and more. And we know the British flag still carries great provenance. So it's quite a big and broad topic, but without a change in thought on inheritance tax, it will be the destruction of a lot of farms, and I think that's going to be really sad. We want to catch up with you on the Real Country File, Philip, over the next few months. We know you're going to speak to a lot of farmers as you travel around, not just the UK, but indeed across Europe as well. And let's see how this pans out over the next 2-3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and you'll gather those thoughts for us and report back, and we'll maybe catch you up at Cockerham as well, if that's all right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Phil. Now, on a slightly different topic, I went to visit the Farm Business Innovation Show earlier this week. There was lots of ideas for farmers to look at different diversification avenues. So let's take a look at that. I'm here today at the Farm Business Innovation Show. There are hundreds of companies here, all giving lots of different ideas for farmers on how to diversify and make more money from their land and buildings. So let's go and have a look round. Okay, Will, so yeah, tell us about your business. What is it that you're showcasing here today?
Yeah, so this is our little truck. It's our miniature off-roader. Again, it's very capable of road, you can see. We've designed it aimed at the farm diversification side of things. So, as obviously we all know the way farming's going at the moment, if you've got a farm shop, an area where potentially children are visiting or with their families, it's on a pay-per-ride basis we recommend, a farm shop or something like that. Again, it's just aimed at the main farm diversification side of things. We would definitely suggest that it's going to earn you more money than putting crops in the ground. Yeah, that's about it really, and it's a great little attraction to have on site, operating between 1 all the way up to 10 cars.
Okay, so what kind of conversations have you been having with farmers here today?
Well, we're a glamping provider on working farms. We have 24 farms throughout the UK, so we're finding that people are just coming, wanting to see the tent and what we offer, looking at different ways to diversify and make money on the farm so they can continue farming.
So I've just come along to this stand here and I was attracted to this very interesting alien here. So Ian, tell us about your business and what's it got to do with aliens?
Fantastic. Well, my name's Ian from Defib UK. We're an independent supplier of defibrillators, and the alien is all about the fact that it doesn't have to be an alien concept to save lives. It's as simple as that, really.
Okay.
So,
we all know farming is a very dangerous industry.
It can be,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And the thing about cardiac arrest, though, is that they can affect you at any time, and it can affect anyone as well. And for every minute you go without a defibrillator, your chance of living drops by about 10%. And that's why there's actually a massive drive to get defibrillators in as many workplaces and community places as possible. And that includes remote areas like farms, for example.
Okay, yeah. So you're not just selling to big corporations.
No.
Then it's normal size working farms
Yeah.
that actually need to have these pieces of equipment.
Absolutely, and even here at the show we've had one person walk away with their defibrillator for their working farm, and it was for themselves and their family basically. And so
Right.
we do find that we are supplying them to kind of farms of all sizes.
Okay, great. So if you've got staff working on your farm, then it's important to look after them as much as possible. If people want to buy a defib from you, where do they go?
Go to www.defibuk.co.uk and you can find us there.
Great, thank you.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, we're the Experiences Group. It's our third year here. So we've got baby dinosaurs, we've got some big dinosaurs like Beta here, we've got dragons, and we're also talking about pantomimes, murder mysteries, any shows really for theme parks, museums, zoos, farm parks, and everything in between really. If it involves a children's show, we'll do it.
What's the mood been like generally when you've been talking to farmers today?
Oh, it's been great. We've been talking to farmers who want to diversify. They've got a bit of land. They maybe want to put on a show with some, kids coming along in the summer. They want to put on a little cafe there, maybe a little gift shop. So experiences like this really help farmers diversify, as well as their glamping pods and their camping. Putting on a show, putting on an experience, bringing a new audience into the farm is what they're after today. And it's going really well. Lots of nice chats.
Well, that's it today from the Farm Business Innovation Show. I've spoken to so many people and the mood has actually been very positive here today. But I think most people are just looking at other ideas and opportunities of how they can actually make a profit and keep their farmers at the same time as well. Well, that's it for this episode. Let us know your thoughts on the budget. Have you spoken to your MP? What are the implications going to be for your farm? Why not send us a video in like Ian did? We'd be really interested to know your thoughts. So the address to send that to would be vids@therealcountryfile.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.